What does it mean to be beautifully rooted in faith and education? First, consider the tree. It starts as plants do, as a seed. And over time, that seed grows, both upward and downward. Above ground, its branches sprout and reach, getting a little closer each year to the sun. Below, its roots dig deeper, cling harder, securing that seed tighter than ever to the earth. Somehow, it withstands so much. The heat of summer, winter's chill. Each autumn, the leaves fall. And each spring, the branches again sprout, proving this former seed's might.
I remember going to Cathedral, running through the pews, and it was all brick. There was no marble inside. They didn't start putting the marble on until the late 40s.
And I'd wait for the phone to ring, because in those days you didn't call guys.
I called her up. Oh, I've been waiting for you to call, and I thought, damn, fool.
Monica Marie Pauletta Joy, Teresa Ann, John Paul William, Gary Michael, Roy Anthony William, Timothy Jacob, and Laura Rose.
Laura, our youngest, started kindergarten, and Bonnie Pryor came up and she says, your father was in the 50th graduating class and you will be in the 100th graduating class of St. Cecilia's. And I went, whoa. I hadn't thought of that.
I went to a meeting and they said, oh, why don't you take the, be on the costume committee? And I looked and I said, I don't even sew. But we did get a lot of things done, and I had great people that, knew how to put things together.
When we started having kids, that they were always involved in something up here.
The biggest involvement was just being at everything that there was, every extracurricular activity, everything we were involved with, they were in the stands cheering. I think of my mom as a fan first and foremost, in the stands cheering, and I have this echo in my head of her saying, Yahoo! They were just always there. That's what I remember of my parents, is just always being up at St. Cecilia's. Yeah, I remember them always being the last ones as far as their time at St. Cecilia's. Seems like we always shut the place down. I don't know how my parents were able to do it with 8.
To this day, it's amazing, without cell phones, that we didn't lose a kid along the way. We came close with Monica once. We forgot to pick her up from school.
But this one big open road, we would drive to school. My mom would every morning. My older sisters driving to school would be so horrified of this thing, because there were at times where this thing's horn did not work right. And just all of a sudden, it would just start honking at Cummings Street and honk all the way to St. Cecilia's. So we get dropped off and this horn is going just so loud. Half the time my sisters wouldn't let my mom pull into the drive.
I feel fortunate our kids have the education that they have here, that they have the opportunity to attend St. Cecilia's Grade School. There's a great sense of, just friendship, that builds up, and then, you are prepared to go out to the world.
They taught them how to study and to get it done no matter what. It really has prepared them. There's no doubt about it.
I want my kids to get to be afforded the same opportunities and chances that I had, to have the same educational environment that I had. I'd hate to think of sending my kids somewhere else knowing that they may not get that same experience that I had.
It's a spiritual part of the parish too, which is very important. And I walk in our cathedral and I just feel like I'm at home. And it's the leadership that is here in Father Gutzel and in our principals.
The things I love about Cathedral the most is that we still have our friends, we have our kids' friends, and we also still have the spiritual side.
There's such a value to our parish and the cathedral itself, and it's they help grow our faith.
They gave. They are continuing to give, and they have so much more to give.
Oh yes. I feel we can do so much more here.
I have loved you. Very seldom have I ever loved him less than the day I got married. So.
I've pushed her sometimes. There's been time. The roots are deep and they just keep growing.
And fortunately, there was a textbook that had been used before, so I took that textbook and I came in, and that first year just kind of taught from that textbook and stayed very faithful to it. But the students immediately let me know that I had a lot to learn, and they also became my joy. Class the second year was not as willing to go along with my style of teaching. A young man named Robert raised his hand one day and he says, "Father, do you realize that nobody here cares at all about anything you're talking about?" And I said, "What?" And so then he started in and sort of challenged me to maybe leave the textbook aside once in a while and talk about some things that really meant something to children. And so he taught me a very good lesson there. So we go into the gym, and all the students all of a sudden go to the middle and they sit down, and the class spokesman, whose name was Dan, stands up and said, "We protest your course. We hate this course. We are sitting here until you promise to change your whole course." And we were shocked, and we were just crushed. We couldn't believe they didn't love us. I always remember that. And so by that time, I realized that if you're going to be working with high school students, you better make sure that you're in some way connected to what they're thinking and what they're seeing and what they're feeling. Another big lesson we learned here at Cuisine. We have that spiritual dimension that is very much there, and it can be ignored, and we can walk around it. But if you don't answer it, if you don't deal with it in some way, there are going to be effects in your life. Well, I think the cathedral school is symbolic of what Catholic education can be and needs to be throughout the whole archdiocese. One day in my office, here comes this beautiful painting of the tree, the school. And he had, but the branches are the children, making all kinds of noise. And then as the branches go down, we have the teachers, okay? And then we have the trunk here, and that's the administration. And then in the roots, holding everything up, is maintenance. But thinking of another way, I think the branches, the branches still are the children, okay, and the teachers, and the trunk then is the institution itself. They were kids with lots of issues, and we would take them in. Certainly kept me from having a boring life in those middle years with 4 or 5 teenagers at the house waiting for me when I got home. I loved everything about being a priest here at the cathedral, but I loved the high school work the most, and so I've been fortunate to stay in high school work all of my career, and very grateful for that. Well, I guess I would say that as I look back and thank God for so many things that happened to me, I'm very grateful that my first experience of priestly life was here at the cathedral, because these people were so welcoming and so vital and so vibrant and so open and so ready to do a lot of things. And to find, this great institution that was thriving, and to all of a sudden be part of it and be just swept away by the beauty and enthusiasm of it. So I'm so glad that was my first experience. And then to have a great pastor like Monsignor Graham as my first pastor is a great gift that I'm very grateful for. But there's always been a special part of my heart that's here at Cathedral.
And it was just the neatest atmosphere. And even I can remember that as a 4-year-old. And what an example they were of good Christian Catholic living, They were just wonderful. But it was just a really enlightening time, because it made me think, I really think I could do this. I really think I could be a teacher. I think I would really like this. August of 1973 I started, and that's where I was for 41 years. My brother's so funny. He'd always say to me, Margaret, you haven't gone very far in life. You started at St. Cecilia's, and you're still at St. Cecilia's, just kiddingly, But I said, that's a true thing, and it's the best place in the world to be. So I'm happy with it. When I think about 41 years, when I like to think how I sort of look somewhat young, it did go awfully fast. And when I say that, that's a long time. Somebody said, think about the good things about first grade and the bad things about first grade. There's nothing bad about first grade. I couldn't come up with a single thing. Getting them when they're young, starting with their roots, teaching them about religion, teaching them about the rosary, of course with all of the other academics too that are very, very important. But such good kids that we have.
Oh. I think I did okay academically. I think maybe claims more than his share of attention. That was always something that I was asked to work on.
Well, if you were talking and you looked back at her to make sure that you weren't that she wasn't watching, you should give you the you need to be quiet. She always gave you really good hugs, because she was really good at giving hugs. Yeah, and she was really good at explaining things.
You know, people say people won't remember what you say, they'll remember how they made you feel. She just makes you feel like, you know, everything's going to be fine.
It was just so much fun to see them grow. Teaching them to read, oh my gosh, what a gift to be able to do that for students. And then you see all of a sudden the light bulbs go off, and they can sound out those words, and they can put stories together, and they can comprehend what they're reading. And you think, wow, this is what it's all about. And when they come back after many, many years, when they're in high school or in college, and they come back and want to give you a hug, and you think, this is what it's all about. And I think the roots are probably all of the parents that have gone ahead of us. Again, you've got the roots of all of the Dominican sisters. God love them. We could have not have done without them. You think of the priests that we've had. So many of those priests who have worked so hard and long and strong. Father Gutzel, what would we do without Father Gutzel? To keep this parish going. And now it's a smaller parish. We don't have as many parents, but they're still here working so hard, giving of their time, of their talents, of their energy, so that this school, this trunk can keep going and sending out, you know, bushes and leaves and new students. And, you know, we have been so blessed. So many people are praying. And I said to my husband, the power of prayer is so wonderful, because I'm stable right now and things are going well. And I said, it's the power of prayer that's doing it. And he said, well, Margaret, you got to give a little credit to the doctor. And I said, oh, I do very much so. But, you know, everyone I run into, we're praying for you. And I keep saying, keep it up. They've supplied food. They've done so much, just coming over and cheering me up when I needed cheering. Cards, oh my goodness, the cards from people that I haven't seen for so many years, or parents that I've had, their students would send holy cards or prayer cards, or we're thinking about you. That's what being a part of a Catholic community is about. We are the cathedral, and that's a very important part of the Archdiocese, but we are still St. Cecilia's family. And we are all here to help each other out. Yeah. Dear first-year teacher, congratulations and welcome to the wonderful world of teaching. Know how blessed you are to be in first grade again. It is the absolute best. What a wonderful opportunity to guide and share with your little ones all the wonderful gems of learning. I remember my first year at St. Cecilia's, 1973. I was scared but so excited by the challenge of teaching my first graders how to read and to help them learn about God, to teach them the rosary and the beautiful prayers of our religion. Mrs. Pryor made me feel right at home, and Sister Bernice Kelly was a perfect mentor. Little did I know that I would be lucky enough a few years down the road to have Sister's cousin, Sister Marie Patrice O'Donnell, to also be my mentor. I was doubly blessed to work with two of the best the Dominicans had to offer. You are blessed, too, to be a part of the wonderful St. Cecilia's family of teachers. They are truly a special group, dedicated and a caring and loving staff. Our school families are wonderful, always doing their best to support the teachers in our job of teaching the Catholic faith to our students and preparing these students for life through our excellent curriculum. Enjoy first grade. The students are eager learners. Whether it be reading, science, music, or religion, they are so ready to learn and so proud of themselves when they succeed. It is such a joy when your struggling reader is able to share a story with the group. The happiness in the eye of the student and the smile on his or her face is what every teacher wants to see. You are not only a teacher, but a mother, grandmother. Once I was called Dad, nurse, and counselor. Wear these hats well. They are all important tasks that you have been blessed with. God bless. Mrs. Swanson.